I find I love movement. I even think about just when you can't focus. Even now in daily life, if I'm having trouble like thinking, or I find that my mind is starting to dart, the first thing I usually do is just go out for a walk or something where I'm moving again. And that's even for people who maybe if you're not even diagnosed with ADHD, just when you're having those things where you can't focus, is getting those breaks in the day. I don't think the body was designed to, I could be wrong, I don't know your opinion, but I don't think the body was designed to sit at a desk, stare at a computer for 8 hours straight.
No. I mean, you look at, generations and generations and generations ago, if we were hunters and gatherers, or even, in an agriculture society, I mean, we were outside doing some kind of activity most of the day. So to be locked up in a room in front of a computer all day is not, what is in our biological genes. So tell us some interventions that you like. You mentioned movement. So how could we put that into our daily routine?
Yeah. I think an easy thing to do from the movement side is simply every 3 hours, just even if you have to set an alarm on your watch, whatever it is, to have it go off. Even if you're feeling totally fine, I always think about like preloading. That way you don't have to dip into the reserves that often.
Right.
Is just moving 15 minutes for every 3 hours that you're sitting down. That's kind of my thing. I find that helps a lot of people, those who are diagnosed as ADHD, those who don't. Almost everyone comes back and like, wow, that really helped me focus later in the day. Another basic one is just get enough hydration. This may sound really weird, but one of the things that I always do is making sure that you're getting enough water, enough electrolytes during the day. Because I find a lot of people like, yeah, my symptoms were good in the morning, but man, in the afternoon, I started doing, fishtailing all over the place. And I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, well, how much fluid do you drink? And they're like, not much. I'm like, well, we know that it's very easy to dehydrate, especially as it's getting warmer out. If you're having trouble focusing, that could be as simple as being dehydrated. I find when I started adding that into a lot of people, they found that their memory was better. They had less headaches. They were able to focus better significantly during the day, where they found that was good as well. And then, although it's always boring, because people, you'll come to me looking for like supplements, because again, sports nutrition, I think like the Flash, the Bangs, the whatever. And I always go back to, are you getting your baseline nutrients in? If we're trying to put medications on top of a faulty system to start with, it's just a Band-Aid. So, and this is even interesting. If you look at studies, that what they've shown are people with ADHD versus control groups, almost always they're deficient in magnesium, zinc, copper, selenium, and iron. So that's
basically minerals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so that's where I put a lot of focus, is making sure that we're getting the baseline nutrients that are in. I think that is key. The other thing that I always think about too, which is fascinating, is fish oil. So we know how big of an impact that omega-3s have on the brain. What they're showing is people just taking either they're eating more fish, be it salmon or whatever, or if you're not having anchovy pizza 5 nights a week, taking a fish oil supplement, significant improvements in score. One of clients I was working with, I was talking with her earlier today, and we her son started, taking omega-3s, and she's like, Shawn, it was crazy. He did his, I'm drawing a mind blank on the exact test, but it's basically one of the standardized tests that they do for this last fall. And then they did it again this spring, and they're like, everyone was shocked at his improvement relative to what the norms were expected. And she's like, the only thing that we implemented was we started getting fish oil, omega-3s into his system on a regular basis. And so that's what I was thinking about.
His cognition was better?
His cognition, his rates of like impulsivity. Attention, like across the board. The test that they were doing kind of to standardize the ADHD, or in terms of the diagnosis, they found that all significantly improved.